Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Face to Face Friday. It is a new month. I love May. May signals that summer's around the corner, fun times ahead, vacations, get to see friends, etc. And I wanted to start a new series this month on fueling our bodies. So today I'm going to do part one. I'm going to do a four-part series this month. So hopefully you can join me and hopefully you find my tips to be a little bit useful. This, of course, all comes on the heels of the weight loss journey that my husband and myself have been on. And we've lost a combined, I think it's over like 130 pounds now between the two of us. So we're feeling great. And I just wanted to share some of what we have come to realize with you in the hopes that it might help you as you kind of try to get a little bit healthy. So, the first thing is, I think so many people struggle with food these days because it's ingrained into a part of our society. It has historically been something that we've always used to celebrate for weddings, for christenings. I mean, way, way back in history, they've always had huge, huge feasts. So I understand that. And I think that's why it's hard for someone like myself that had an unhealthy relationship with food. It doesn't go away. And here's the thing, we have to eat in order to survive. So that's never ever going away. We have to learn how to change our thoughts about food, or at least I had to. So we celebrate with food. We celebrate socially, like I said, birthdays, holidays, social events. What do we like to do? We like to go out to eat, or we gather at a friend's house to eat. And that's all the good and normal and totally fine. Those things are never going away. And I'm not here to say that, but it makes it a little bit harder when you're trying to navigate a healthier way of living because there are lots of tempting foods and drinks that don't particularly help you if you're on a journey like myself. So, for someone like me who has always had an unhealthy relationship, that's why it's so much harder because all of those events, I'm not going to not go and hang out with my friends, although I will admit in the past that maybe I've chosen not to go and do those things because I know it's a challenge for me and I wasn't in a strong place mentally to be able to deal with some of those temptations that would have been there. So I'm in a much better place now. Thankfully, I know how to navigate that. Um, so we're accustomed to eating really large meals. I think the majority of my clients, myself included, before I began program, I was only eating 2 to 3 times a day, oftentimes skipping breakfast. And it's a really, really not healthy way to help your body do the things that it needs to do during the day. So again, a lot of people will skip breakfast. They'll just eat a big lunch and a big dinner. Some people, they'll tell me they don't snack in between. I guess they probably might, even though they tell me that they don't. Totally normal again. But that makes it a little bit hard when you're trying to rein in your calories and trying to maybe get closer to a healthy BMI like myself. So here's the reason why it's not great to just eat a couple of times a day. Number one, it can cause us to be hungrier than normal if we were eating smaller meals throughout the day. And the reason is because when we're waiting and we're waiting, of course, our metabolism is kicking in as we're more active during the day. Lunch rolls around and we're like, holy cow, I'm starving. What do we do? If you're anything like me, I go and I eat the kitchen, in the sink, in the cupboard, whatever is there, it's in my mouth and I'm eating it. So if I weren't so hungry, I probably would rein that in and make better choices and not eat as much, not eat as many calories. And I really think that's what contributes to a lot of the obesity that we have in this country right now and really all over the world is because we're accustomed to eating those larger meals, again, a lot of times socially charged. And that can kind of not help you if you're on a journey like the one that I'm on. It can also have a lot of really negative effects if you're eating just a few big meals during the day. Here's some things that you may encounter. You might have some energy crashes during the day, meaning you eat a huge whatever it is, a huge lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever, and then soon after you're crashing. First of all, you're probably not eating the right types of foods to fuel your body, and I'll get into that in a later episode of this, but you can crash really hard because your body's burned through that pretty quickly. It can also cause you to have a mental fog. I know a lot of times I don't think as clearly if I've had a huge meal and I'm spacing those meals out with a lot of time in between. It can cause you to be cranky or hangry. How many of you felt that? I know I have. And that's never good. I think my worst arguments have come from a place of hangriness. So again, a bad kind of physical reaction to that waiting in between so long your meals. And it can also cause you to have pretty bad cravings. If you wait too long, you kind of have crossed that threshold and your body starts craving things that aren't really going to fuel your body well. Things like crackers, carbs, that kind of thing, bready things. And so those cravings are legitimate, they're real, and happen to tend to happen a lot more frequently if you're eating those fewer, small, larger meals during the day. What can you do about it? There's always a solution. I'm always a solution seeker. And fortunately, the program that I coach, their first habit that they work on is making sure that we're eating small, regular meals throughout the day, not these big, huge meals. So I eat 6 times a day, every day. I space them out every 2.5 to 3 hours. Why do I do that? Because I'm getting the nutrients that I need, everything is included in what I eat. But I'm also making sure that my sugar is staying pretty steady throughout the day because if you're eating every 2.5 to 3 hours, by the time your body has burned off that fueling you ate, it's time to eat again. And they're small. So I never feel super full. I never get hangry and everything is balanced and I can move on. Lots of protein. So it keeps me full. So that's something that I have learned through the program. We eat 6 times a day. One of those, I eat 5 fuelings. One of those is a lean and green, which is a perfectly portioned and measured out lean protein and vegetable with that. And I can go into that a little bit later in a different episode. Um, when you're eating those, if you're not on program, make sure you choose something that's got a lot of protein in it. So there's a lot of protein packed snacks that are out there on the market. You can do nuts, seeds, seed butter, nut butter, that kind of thing, yogurts, um, dairy, eggs, all of those kinds of things are really great options because if you're going to grab something a little bit carby, you're going to burn through that. Your body's going to burn that very, very quickly. Protein takes a little bit more time to burn. So you're going to feel full and satiated a little bit longer than if you chose something on the opposite. And then let's see, I talked about the sugar levels are the same. And another thing that you can do is kind of look at food as a way to fuel your body. I am still working on this. I don't tend to look at food as a treat like I have in the past. I look at it as a way to give my body the nutrients it needs in order to do my duties and to feel the best that I can. And that I think has been the most pivotal change that I've made being on program is recognizing that if I fuel myself with things that are going to make it feel good and work properly, then I'm going to feel amazing. And that's just going to help me be a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, all of the above. So that's really been pivotal for me. I'm still learning. I'm not perfect with it, but I am having a healthier view as to what food is. So seeing food as fuel, fuel, just like gas for your car. So anyway, and again, not to see food as something as a replacement for loneliness or an emotion that you're feeling, feel that emotion. Like let your body feel that, deal with it. Don't run and numb it with some food because you're going to just put yourself 2 steps backwards. So, anyway, I just wanted to share this with you, seeing how you can fuel your body. Next week, I'll go into a little more of. I haven't really decided yet. I've got some ideas, but I'll continue this topic all month long. If you've got questions or comments or have anything you want me to address in the future, reach out, leave me a comment or message me. I'd love to hear from you guys. But I hope you have a fantastic Friday and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Take care.